We know that there exists a strong connection between literacy and languages. Learning languages has been shown to build students' meta-linguistic awareness, a key skill in learning to read. In this way, learning additional languages are really value-adding rather than hindering first language learning. I really hope you make the most of this day, and we need you to have an active role in your school to support the literacy development of your students, as languages is a learning area that is best placed to make a positive difference to the educational outcomes of all of our students.
One of the earlier questions was, if NAPLAN is the measure of success, as we heard earlier, what arguments or adjustments need to be made in the language learning classroom? Anne-Marie.
The best thing you can do to improve your NAPLAN scores is give enough time to additional languages learning. The NAPLAN data consistently show that those who speak another language at home do better on NAPLAN. If they come into school without English, they may not have reached that level at year 3, but by year 5 and beyond, they have surpassed the English-only students. So learning additional languages is the most important thing you can do, but you have to have enough time as well. You need to have a sufficient time to develop skills.
If we take NAPLAN as the benchmark, because it's placed there and everything seems to swim around NAPLAN, think about the international assessments and where Australia is ranked in relation to the international assessments in mathematics, science and literacy. Every single country that is above Australia, particularly the countries at the top, all of those kids are bilingual or trilingual. So the Asian countries, those kids have a home language and English might be a second or third language, but not one of those countries at the top is at the top because it's a monolingual education system, either in relation to literacy, mathematics or science. All of the countries at the top in terms of high achievement in mathematics and science are countries where the students are learning 2 or more languages. The issue is about language. It's not just about language. And some of the activities that we've tried today, the process of working out languages and comparing what one knows and drawing from one's linguistic repertoire in order to work out what these problems might be, to find the solutions, is setting the cognitive frame of the mind towards hypothesis, creating hypotheses, testing the hypotheses, comparing and finding solutions. That is mathematical and scientific thinking. Language learning assists mathematical and scientific thinking. So if we in Australia want to move our yardstick further than it is at the moment, we have to focus on languages first. That will develop intellectual capabilities.
Without a shadow of a doubt, I believe that the fact that I can speak one and a bit of other languages has actually made my English better. I did very well in English when I was in school and in university, and that is because I can speak another language, because I can understand systems of languages. I'll just tell you one little incident. So I remember when I was about 14, my father sent me home back to Spain. And I came back, and the first day I came back, there was an English test, and it was around difficult words in English. And at the end of it, I came top of that. You know, I got the best marks, and the person who got the second best marks was a newly arrived German migrant. So, you know, the fact that we could speak other languages actually facilitated our English. So without a shadow of a doubt, I believe that learning additional languages only strengthens, you know, your literacy in your first language. And I think if there's anybody else who has a different first language, I think you would agree.
So we come to today, key idea 3, developing literacy through languages. Literacy skills are not English specific, as we heard Susan say, and indeed literacy skills are very much developed, as we know, through the work that we do in our classrooms, and we can work further in that field. Multilingual students are also more easily able to perceive language as a system, and so there are benefits not only in learning additional languages, but recognising and building upon the languages learners bring in the classroom as part of that literacy development. Every language contributes to their overall sense of self and their general literacy development, and we should be recognising and rewarding that, and reminding learners of that it is not just the language they are learning, it is a whole repertoire of skills that are transferable. Students may possess rich linguistic resources, and it's important that we recognise and promote and support and include those in our conversations, and that these should not be seen as deficits in their linguistic repertoire, as is often the case where there have been broken experiences of education and literacy development. So finally, their purpose then for today is to reinforce the point that literacy remains a strong priority for the department, that learning additional languages represents an important opportunity to develop transferable literacy skills, especially when we look at them in a conceptual and overarching way, that developing literacy in both home languages and English is especially important and can be reinforced through second language learning, and that language teachers need to be supported, as in events like this, to focus on the development of these skills to build students' overall literacy capabilities. So we're looking to step beyond the singular languages that we teach and to think about how what we do in the classroom contributes to the overall development of the child from a linguistic perspective. So you've heard enough from the podium this morning. We want to begin now with an activity. So in your table groups now, for 5 minutes, can you please consider and briefly discuss the following questions? What does the term literacy mean to you in your teaching of languages? What do you know of literacy practices in the mainstream classrooms in your school sites? What do you know of learners' literacy practices at home? And how can we activate existing knowledge and skills to enhance literacy development in our languages classrooms? So I'll leave you with that for the next 5 minutes before we call you back. Thank you.